We're going to turn now to more helpful information. The GMA Health Alert, a study out overnight, finds that staying active in middle age and beyond can cut your risk of Alzheimer's dramatically. Our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Tara Narula, is here with more. Doc, tell us about what this research is saying.
Good morning, Michael. Well, there's really a need to look for preventative and treatment strategies for dementia that are not drug-based. We know that drugs come with side effects, they're costly, and one of those things is lifestyle. In fact, there was a recent study that showed you could reduce dementia by about 50% by just targeting 14 different lifestyle risk factors across the lifespan. One of those things is physical activity in midlife. So researchers here looked at that question. They looked at people in early, mid, and late life in terms of how active they were, and they found that those that were active, more active in middle and late life actually could reduce their risk of dementia. Those who had the highest level of activity in midlife reduced their risk of dementia, all kinds of dementia, by about 41%. Those who who had the highest activity in late life reduced the risk of dementia by about 45%. They found that in addition, if you were a carrier of the ApoE gene, which we know is a risk for Alzheimer's and dementia, that those individuals who were the highest amount of activity in late life reduced their risk of dementia by 66%. They did not see a correlation with early life activity, and when they looked at intensity, if you had moderate or higher intensity in midlife, that was the most beneficial. But in later life, any sort of activity was really beneficial. So you might wonder, how could this be? Well, exercise activity does a lot of things. It decreases inflammation and stress, amyloid. It helps cerebral or brain blood flow. It helps create new blood vessels and new nerves. So, and even how we process blood sugar. So it has so many different beneficial effects.
66%.
Even if you were a carrier of the gene, right? So even if you're at risk, you can still do something to reduce.
So what type of activity are we talking about?
Well, in this study, they really rated it as slight, moderate, and heavy. What we tend to do in clinical practice is talk more about moderate or vigorous activity. So moderate activity, we recommend about 150 minutes per week, and vigorous, basically 75 minutes per week. If you're trying to figure out what that means, I tell my patients moderate is the kind of activity where it might be hard to carry on a conversation with someone. So you're a little bit out of breath, but not completely winded. So that might be a brisk walk, maybe power yoga, light swimming or biking, whereas vigorous activity is going to be more like running, jogging, kickboxing, swimming laps, or maybe Zumba dancing, Michael. I don't know if you like that.
Yeah, I'm all into that.
Right. So anything that you like, that's the key. Find something you like and stick with it.
Zumba, that's the last thing I thought you would have said for me, but I'll take it.
You never know.
Anything helps.
Yeah, I've seen you dance. I've seen it.
Oh, well, thank you, Doc. I appreciate the endorsement.
Thank you.
I'm waiting to see George dance. That's what I'm looking forward to.
That'll get our heart rate going.
Vigorous activity.